Welcome to the Social Currency Show, where we're going to talk about tech, venture, and entertainment. Lo, tell us what social currency is.
What is social currency? Social currency is basically how do you take your social network or your social connections and turn it into currency? Currency doesn't necessarily have to be money. I know we all like money, but currency can come in a lot of different forms. It can come in opportunity, partnerships, connections, collaboration, and just knowledge. How are we socially connecting and building social currency within our social network?
Nah, that's beautiful. And we are builders, technologists. I'm your host, Aaron.
I'm Lo.
I'm Dom.
Social currency.
All right, we back with episode 2 of Social Currency.
Episode 2.
Look, we got the logo up today.
This is nice. This is new too. This is really nice. Social currency. Our tagline or our catchphrase is you had to be there. So hence, where are we at right now?
Miami.
We talking where?
Miami.
We in Miami, 305, living La Vida Loca. Where we at right now?
MIAO. You know,
we're in
first time in Miami, Darren.
It is.
Welcome to Miami. Welcome to Miami.
How you liking it?
It's cool. Now, hold on. I told you, I've been for a lot of their 20 times growing up.
That's not
never made it down here.
That's not the 305. That's not the 305. That's not the 305.
They'll go to the pool with your cousins in Fort Lauderdale.
I was with the aunties for summer, So it happens.
So why are we here again? I know we started in episode 1. Where was we at in episode 1? We was in Austin,
Texas.
We was in Austin, Texas. Okay. So just shout out to YA Studios. Shout out to Allie. She helped us out a lot. It was pretty dope. The first episode went really well. And now we here in the 305. And we setting it off right. And we doing it. We gonna do it right.
I want you to, for the audience, reintroduce them to us.
Okay,
right? It's only episode 2. What is social currency? What does it mean?
That's a good question. What is social currency? When you think about social currency, what comes to your mind? Personally, what comes to my mind is social currency is how can you basically take your network of friends or network of people that you know and turn it into currency. And currency doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could necessarily be connections, opportunity, collaboration, business endeavors, experiences. How can we, and that's basically the whole premise of what social currency is how can we take our social network, people that we engage with on a daily basis or just people that are in our phone book, how can we start to utilize their phone number instead of and collaborate and let's start doing stuff together instead more of I kind of say, I think we're entering a shift in a day and age where it's really collaboration over competition.
Exactly.
We're not really trying to compete with each other. We're trying to collaborate and elevate everybody to win. And that's basically the whole premise of social currency.
Beautiful. I love it. But before we get there, we took an international trip not too long ago, right before Thanksgiving. You got the hat on.
Oh, that's from the trip.
It's from the trip.
What's it say?
If you can see London. It says Drip London. Shout out to
Drip London.
Shout out to Drip London. It's a real dope spot in London. They showed us a lot of love, a lot of hospitality, even blessed us with some drip. Yeah, but even blessed us with some drip to come back to the States and show everybody how they really do it and how London knows how to have a good time. Isn't it? Isn't it? London really knows how to have a good time. But let's talk more about that trip. And kind of in the essence of being a global citizen. So let's talk more about
I think Darren had a question about being global citizens and how that connects to things.
You guys go to London, right? You meet Americans, possibly. Ran into a couple celebrities. I'll let you guys talk about that. But I find it interesting that, they're moving, right? They're on tour. There are probably business ventures that are going on overseas, right? That's super important. But when you're kind of stuck, maybe domestically, right? You're trying to start a business locally, or maybe you're traveling a couple states. It's not, you don't have the information that you need, right? When you're kind of traveling abroad, I heard Dirk Nowitzki say on the Smoke podcast that he wants his kids to be global citizens, know different languages, know different laws in different countries. Mm-hmm. Right? He's German, right? He's from Germany. What are the laws in Germany for starting a business? What's the barrier of entry for that? There's things you should know. It's when companies say like we're going to scale, we're going to do things big, we're going to go after 1 billion users, they don't mean we're going to go after 1 billion users in the US. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about
very
1
true.
billion users globally, right?
Global.
And when they enter those different markets, there are different laws, right, that they have to figure out how to navigate through. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on being a global citizen. Is it important, right? Especially being in tech and building. Like, what does that mean to you, being a global citizen?
I think being a global citizen is very important. I think just to even be born outside the country, like even people like Kanye West and J. Cole, they were born not in the U.S. They were born globally. They were born internationally.
What?
Yeah, J. Cole was born in like Germany.
Yeah, he was.
I think Kanye was born in I'm pretty sure he was born in like Tokyo or somewhere. Or he spent some time in Tokyo, but I'm not sure if he was born there. But he spent some time outside the country, and that gives you a different experience, a different perspective
He does.
of things. And like you mentioned, that'll give you just a bit different vantage point on things. But it's definitely, even I was born in Brooklyn. I was born in New York, but I spent some time in Nigeria. My first 2-3 years with my grandparents, and I think that opened me up to a whole different mindset. That I'm not just on the block in Brooklyn. I'm not just thinking about New York City, even though I love New York City. But it opened my mind to different cultures, different family settings that I wasn't really accustomed to in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So just that experience and that vantage point, I think is very key. And it helps you open your mind to I saw different things that I want to bring back here, implement in America, and kind of, kick off that can help the youth here that I saw on the last trip we took. We can get into that later, but I think it opens your mind. That's what traveling does. I've never really been a big traveler, but once you get outside and expose yourself to different cultures, different things, it's definitely eye-opening, definitely expands your mind.
What caught your eye overseas?
Well, to answer your first question, you said it's important to be a global citizen. I think it's very important to be a global citizen. Reason being is because just think about all the products that we use. Everything is not made in the U.S. So we're even importing products from other places. So in the essence is that when you become a global citizen and you want to explore different things, we're actually doing it through products. If that makes sense, like in a way, like we're experiencing different cultures, different people, different ideas through products. And now when you actually now take your physical self and go to these places, now you're immersing yourself in the culture, in their daily culture, how they live life on a daily basis, and just the food. Even the food is just different.
Right.
It tastes different.
It's not altered.
It's not altered. I love America, but a little bit of the food. The food is, a little bit, like he was saying, altered. So just you start to notice things like that when you start to travel a lot and you start to travel abroad and just those type of different things. And I think the biggest thing is you learn respect. And I think that's like the biggest thing, especially something that in the inner cities and in the inner cities and like in our communities, I think we don't value respecting each other enough. And once you kind of like start to go outside of the country and see how other people are interacting with each other from different races, different backgrounds of life, different walks of life, it's like, hold on, what are we really arguing about? What are we really like talking about? Or like, what are we really like beefing about? It's really no beef. Like at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things I think I learned in being the importance of being a global citizen is because we got to respect every culture and look at America itself. America is a melting pot.
So what about from like a builder perspective, like going out and building like an app or selling a physical product?
My developer's in Pakistan.
So you gotta, because, and the reason why it's that is because the skill set may not be, the skill set of the people that you're looking for, they may not be where you're at. So you gotta look abroad. Or if they are where you're at, they may be too expensive for you. When you're a startup and you're trying to grow your business, you're one of the key things is like you got to keep your costs low and you got to keep your expenses low. Like I'm not saying like you have to jeopardize the quality of product by hiring somebody outside because they're cheaper, but it's just more of like, okay, if I want to bring a product to market, I got to be able to make use of what my resources that I have. And I think that's very important. Once you have like a global perspective, you'll start to see how people in different places have skill sets that could bring value to the businesses that you're running or doing.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between maybe building with people globally, because we do that in tech, but being in someone's country and seeing how things operate at the ground level, I think that's what opens you up.
And it definitely opens it up. And what you remember too is everybody loves America. Like, let's not get that twisted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you go overseas, everybody wants to hang out with the Americans. Everybody wants to see what the Americans is doing. A perfect example was the 50 Cent concert. When we went to go see 50 Cent in London, he literally had 2 shows scheduled for the shows in London. The demand for him was so crazy in London. After the first show that we went to, they added like 3 more shows in London because they just loved him so much. So that goes to just show you that our culture is still impacting people overseas in a real big way. And we can't forget that. We have to actually play on that and big that up, because America is still, us as Americans, we still have a lot of influence in the world.
Sure.
And people want to be around us. People's like, oh, look what America's doing. We want to do that. So that actually kind of refreshed me and like gave me more profound respect for being American, the way that they just embraced us when we was out there. They were like, literally, we met a guy and he was like, we love Americans out here. That makes me want to go back to America and tell everybody about my experiences, about like how it was a positive experience. And I'm pretty sure when you go, you can have one too. But one thing I do know is when you do travel certain places, it is really based on who you go with and who you travel with and the attitude you have, because, you know, we can all go to the same place. And if you have a bad attitude or anything, you can have a bad experience. But if you have a good attitude and you're around good people, you most likely going to have a good experience.
Shout out to the fam we went with. Shout out to the fam.
Yeah, shout out to
hearing somebody in London accent sing "Many Men" is crazy. By the way,
Sing what?
Many Men.
Oh.
Many Men. That was funny. That was dope.
And another thing too, that was just a reminder of like, yo, 50 Cent like literally is a living legend when it comes to music, and still he has bangers still to this day that is just ringing off like crazy. And it's literally, he was performing Get Rich or Die Trying. That's 20 years later. And still, even to this day, we even looked at it, we was like, there's still nobody that came into the rap game and put the rap game in a chokehold like 50 Cent. Like, I'm still, like, tell me a rapper that's came into the game and literally everybody just was like, okay, we just gonna let him go. Like, we can't even do nothing. Like, he dropped in the club and everybody was just like on the sideline, like, we can't do nothing. It's his time. Like, I don't think there has been a rapper that came into the game and like literally had the game in a chokehold. Like he even said in his own bars, like,
yeah, those Jay-Z, on Twitter, the Jay-Z videos are surfacing again, telling everybody like, yo, 50 Cent's coming.
50 is coming.
Yeah.
Flood the streets.
50 is coming.
Now you have to sit on the sideline and wait.
That's actually a really good transition. But hold on, before I get to that, because I want to talk about a little bit of hip hop, a little bit, and who's dominating. But before, I want to hear who you guys ran into in London too. You guys ran into a couple folks.
All right, so we was at Harrods,
the famous Harrods. Want to do some shopping, grab some lunch, and I think I was washing my hands or something. I came out the bathroom, and literally my sister was standing right in front of Neo. I was like Neo was like, he was with us. I'm like, y'all don't see who's behind y'all. Neo just sit there like this. Oh, what's good? How y'all doing? I'm like, y'all see Neo? But he was very, very, very nice, very dope, and took pictures with us, and got seated. He sat right by us, and we had lunch, and we exchanged info with some of his peoples, and hopefully we could connect with Neo again. Neo, hope you're going to see this soon. Shout out to your security team and shout out to your team in general. Everybody was dope. Neo is a very dope, soft-spoken, awesome person. And go check out his new song too. It's called Link Up.
Yeah, featuring Fab.
Yeah, featuring Fab. Go check out that new song.
Fab is coming out. I got a couple tracks. I'm gonna have to go listen.
Yeah, we ran into. Yeah, Neo is like, he's such a cool dude, down to earth,
and he was part of the tour. So we just
exactly. It was crazy. I think that was probably like the most mind-boggling part. Is like, imagine going to a concert like the day before, and then you go to like out to eat, and then you see the person that you went to go see in concert. Like, to me, that was like mind. I was just like, what the? I was literally like, yo, what the?
Word too. I thought you guys planned it because he was like right next to like right behind Sakari. I'm like, you guys want to see this? Like, it's crazy.
It was good. And then also, we ran into on the flight back. Funny enough, we were even gonna go see their podcast, but like I said, the demand for 50 was so crazy that we even went to go see him a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was competing with Rory and Maul, and you know the Rory and Maul podcast. Yeah. Shout out to them. They're the two dope dudes from New York.
OGs in the game.
For sure. OG in the podcasting game. They've been doing it for a minute. So shout out to them. And we met them too. They were some real cool dudes. And I think that's just crazy how we're overseas running into people that are American, like, or just like that are just like from the US. Like, I think that's just so crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, especially when there's people that you like watch or whatever, and you see, it's like you watch them on like TV or whatever, YouTube nowadays, or streaming services nowadays, and then you just run into them in person. It's just like, it's just crazy. I don't know. It's just like a mind. To me, I like to joke around. It's like a mind fuck. Like, it's literally like a mind fuck because it's like you're looking at your screen and then you turn off your screen and then they're right in front of you.
Word. Hearing Neo's voice like order chicken was kind of crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like that in itself is just like crazy. But shout out to Neo. Shout out to Rory and Maul. We had a real good time in London.
The whole crew.
Everybody was lit. Shout out to the team too. Everybody was lit too.
All right, so we're gonna stay on this hip hop though a little bit.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Hip hop is my thing, so you already know I can talk all day about that.
Oh, you want to talk about the bars?
I do want to talk about the bars.
Let's get to
you know
it.
what I'm talking about.
Let's get to it.
All right, so rap needs a resurgent star, right? Someone's gonna carry the torch next.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like that person's Jack Harlow.
Oh my goodness.
You may disagree with me, but numbers don't lie. He tours the most. He makes the most amount of money.
Carry what torch?
Hip hop.
As the guy?
Yeah,
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow.
He's dope. He's dope. He's
Carry
dope.
the torch.
I don't know about carrying the torch.
You could get a good set for the halftime performance.
Look, because y'all thinking about Drake and J. Cole. Those guys are in the Raptors. Who's 25 and under right now? Who can tour right now and sell out an arena? Who?
I don't know if he's 25. I don't know if he's 25 and under.
He's 25. Jack Harlow's not.
No, I'm talking about Jid. Is Jid under 25?
I said Jid. I don't know if Jid's under 25.
Yeah, I don't think Jid is under 25.
He's not selling out arenas.
That's what I said. I don't think he's selling out arenas.
Who's under 25 who can sell an arena? I'm asking ya.
It's a good question.
Why you gotta be 25?
Roddy Ricch?
He hasn't dropped anything.
See, that's actually a really good question.
So look,
But I wouldn't, but like, and this is like no disrespect to like Jack Harlow at all. Like, but like when I just hear his name or like when I think of Jack, I don't know if he's like the face of hip hop. I wouldn't, because when you're saying carry the torch, that's what it means. Is like he's going to be like the face of hip hop. And I don't know if that's the case, but he's definitely one of the guys for the next generation.
so he knows he's laughing because I told him, hey man, I think Jack Harlow's the future of hip hop. And his number one song, that's number one right now, the biggest bar out of that was she's 25 years old and she's 28 years old and she called me a baby. That's the bar? That's the bar I'm supposed to get excited about?
Is that the biggest bar in that song?
Yeah.
That's the most memorable bar.
Yes.
But he does a good job of making samples having a resurgence with the samples.
Yes, the first
he makes
class.
catchy music. The Fergie first class.
Yeah, the first class.
I think that new song is a sample too. Like, so that's what he's killing at. But the bars, he's not gonna give you the bar. He's not bar you to death.
He's creative though. I definitely respect that. He's creative and he's definitely talented, especially from somebody. He's from a small town too.
Jack Harlow. You look from Louisville, him and Bryson. Putting on for the Ville, Louisville, Kentucky. But as the guy, I don't know if he's the guy. I think it's still got Lil Baby. You still got
exactly. You still got people like Lil Baby. You got
it's like he's over 30.
You got Dirk. You got Dirk.
30?
Yeah.
Lil Baby's not 30.
He's 29.
Oh, shit, I'm thinking of Dope Baby.
Yeah,
he's 29. Yeah. But yeah, you still have guys like that are still, that still got a drop that's gonna like take over. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I can't.
I think Lil Baby is like he's next. He's gonna drop like this next album and he'll take over the streets again.
Yes. Whoever's the face of hip hop now is the person who's gonna really break into technology. That's why I said it's gonna be Jack Harlow. But I do like think he needs to get himself a writer though.
A writer?
Yeah.
What makes you? That's a good.
It's about
thought process. Like, what makes you think that Jack Harlow would be like an ideal person to cross over into tech as an artist or like a rapper?
the Humane pin that dropped. So there's a new pin that dropped. It's an AI pin. You wear it, comes in gray and black, right? Comes with computer vision, so you can see who's speaking to you. It records. You can say, "Hey, play title," all of that, right? They dropped their demo. It's a former Apple engineer. It looked like a death sentence. No colors. AI is here. Lowe mentioned on the first episode, like, tech does a bad job storytelling. Look at the Google commercials with, like, Drewski, right?
Yeah,
Jack
those are
Harlow,
not.
He's in those too. But if there's somebody who's, like, has number one hits, who's the face of hip hop, who's culture driven right now, who's selling out tours, who can help you sell the Humane AI pin, it would be him.
I can see that.
I can see that.
See that.
I could definitely see that. I got a question. Do you think artists are ready to transition into like the wearable technology and really embracing technology to enhance their overall performances? Like when they are in front of like their fans and their audience, like do you think music artists are ready to embrace technology like that? If they aren't already, I really honestly don't know.
I don't think it's hip hop artists though. I think it's like a Beyonce, even though she don't need technology to do a show. But augmented reality, if her arena sold out and someone wants to do a viewing party, if you want to do holograms where there's like horses flying all over the place, like making the show like 10x what it is already, it would have to be a star like her.
And I think that's what I think
that's
that
already a good performer, not a rapper who jumps around on stage and it's like now there's a stripper going across the screen that's not really there. Like, nah, not that.
But I think they're limited too when you say under 25 because Nas is doing big stuff in the tech with ventures and stuff like that. Like you said, Beyonce. I know Jay-Z's always doing tech stuff. So why are you putting the cap on like the age limit for 25?
That's how it is for everything.
I think he's just more thinking about it from like who's like next up. Who's like next up. Like those people that we're naming, like they're seasoned veterans. They've done it all. They've seen it all. If anything, if they're embracing these technologies, it's more of just because they want to stay. I don't want to say they want to stay relevant, but they're staying relevant and adapting to the new times.
Definitely, but those are people that are going to move the product the easiest, not the newer guys. So if a company wants to, highlight some stuff, they would.
You're saying if Beyonce wore the Humane pin,
what?
That's priced at $699, so $699.
If
that's coming off the shelf immediately.
Exactly.
If Beyonce wears it, yeah, it is. It is.
Jack Harlow is not going to come off the shelf like that.
Yeah, if Beyonce wears it, then every female is going to have a Humane pin. And then it's going to turn into like, the Humane pin is going to turn into like the new, what is it, like a portable, like a portable, like a mirror /
You're trying to reinvent what it is.
No, because the reason I'm thinking it because when you're saying like, so we're saying Beyonce and then she's Beyonce's caters to female, like obviously females. So I'm just thinking about how females would use the pin.
When you say mirror, what do you mean by that? Like, remember it
mirror like
on your hand. So that's a feature. Like the pin can be right here and it'll show what you're watching like on your hand.
What I mean like a mirror is like
for makeup and stuff.
Exactly. Like I think females will probably have like a cool use case with like doing something with makeup and like recording themselves, like getting ready, like all of that stuff with the glam in the AI pen or the Humane pen. Like I can see glam and that going together.
Oh yeah.
I see where you're going with it. Like instead of projecting your hand, maybe it projects on the wall and you can watch.
And then now you're watching yourself do your glam. And then you could turn that into content. That's the crazy thing about it is like, okay, you could project it, right? And then you project it on the wall, and now that could turn into content.
I can see that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now she could be like, okay, I'm going live on the AI pin or Humane AI pin, projects herself through the Humane pin, and now she's killing the glam game, and she's bringing a whole different element to it.
I don't disagree. I just haven't seen like an older like superstar take that challenge on. It's it's usually a younger person, and it's usually like a hip hop star who does it.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised if Beyonce did it.
And she's probably, and she actually probably is a perfect candidate because she's gonna, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's gonna be starting her residency at the new Sphere in Vegas. So that's a super high tech building as well too. So I'm pretty sure if they're gonna incorporate all sorts of cool technology to, like you said, 10x that whole live performance experience. So I could definitely, like, maybe not the pin, but like wearable technologies, I can definitely see that being adopted in the music and musical performances and like concerts.
Yeah, I think we need to break down more wearable technology. Like maybe next time, I'm not buying a Humane pin. I'm not gonna have it here. We're gonna demo it, but we can kind of break down like top wearables, who's currently marketing them, what's their sales look like, because it's gonna take over. It's coming real hard. We have a wearable on the table right now. So I'm gonna talk about the Humane pin.
Hey,
tell the audience a little bit about the glasses.
We're gonna wait for
that. It's too soon for that. But there is some like wearable eyewear that's coming, that's going like, change the game a little bit. And we going, like I said, it's collaboration over competition.
Right.
It's collaboration over competition. It's not even more of like we're trying to do better than other people or anything. It's just more of like, okay, this is different use case. This is different design. Now, let's see if we can push it forward and see other people start to innovate and then collaborate with those people. And on top of that, shout out to Deandra Sanders. She did show love on the smart glasses and posting that on her YouTube channel. That was love. So that's what I'm saying. Collaboration could come. Blenders, Lolitech, Billy. You never know.
You never know. Speaking of the Sanders, I think you want to get into some football this week.
I did. I'm gonna leave that to you, though. Do your thing.
What you want to get into? Caleb Williams. He's supposed to be projected as the top pick this year. Right?
We mentioned briefly on the first episode. Give us more information on that. I don't know anything about the dude at all.
He goes to USC. There was a rumor that said he wanted equity in teams before he even got drafted. So I think that's kind of the conversation we was having before. And I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't think he's going to be the first pick now. That's not a lock anymore because of stuff that's come out, things that, other quarterbacks creeping up the ladder. Shout out to Michael Penix, who's probably going to win a Heisman as we speak if he hasn't won it already.
Shout out to Mike Penix and University of Washington.
Wait, going back to Caleb Williams, what was the contract for the first pick last year in NFL draft? Like the compensation.
Damn, who was the first pick? I don't know. The compensation. Who's the first pick?
You say he wants equity. What do you mean by that?
Equity in the team. Wants a percentage of the team.
He wants shares. He wants shares or ownership within the company that he's employed by.
Wouldn't he be the first person to do that in football?
Of course, but that's not going to happen. This NIL stuff is going to get into his head. They get millions now. You driving Lamborghinis? They can get equity now.
I mean, like we were kind of briefly talking about it on the last one. It's a good concept, but there's a lot of things that have to be ironed out for that because
if anybody's talking about equity, that's Pat Mahomes. That's what should be having that conversation. And they just gave him $500 million contract a couple years ago. So that's about as good as it's going to get until the unforeseeable future when those conversations start happening in the NFL.
And how we should look at it too is more how I like to look at it. When people are starting to think about that, getting equity in the companies that they're employed by, from a broader perspective, because this is kind of common in tech. Like, I don't want to say like it's super common, but it's not far-fetched for you to work for a tech company and have a little bit of ownership in it. Or shares, I should say. I like to call it stakeholder capitalism. So what stakeholder capitalism is basically you're taking everybody that has a stake in the business. So from the customer, from the engineers, the product people, the marketing, sales, anybody that has input in the product or service deserves some sort of compensation for it.
Shout out to Mark Benioff.
Like, that's what stakeholder capitalism is. And that's honestly where the world is going to go forward, because I think people are waking up to the fact that, they're leaving a lot of money on the table in a sense, like, you know, you can get paid a really good salary, but a perfect example is how the Mavericks just sold for $3.5 billion. Now imagine if Dirk Nowitzki had an ownership stake in that when he played for them, and then he retired, and then they sold the team. So he'll be making money from that deal, and he's retired. So you get what I'm saying? It's like a different mindset. It's like a different way of thinking. And you know who also said this too? Magic Johnson, he talked about a story earlier. He talked about a story earlier in his career, I think when he was meeting with Nike. He said that Nike offered him stock.
I remember that.
He said they offered him stock.
Turned it down,
and he said he wanted the cash up front. But see, if he would have never took the cash up front, he would have been a billionaire 10, 15 years ago off of Nike stock. So it's just a different way of thinking when it comes to like stuff like that.
On the Dirk thing, so he's European, he's from Germany. He's a nice guy. I don't think he's going to run down Mark Cuban like, yo, where my money at? But he played for the Mavericks for 20 plus years or 20 years, 20-year career, one team. He bought the team, I think, the year after Dirk was drafted. Mm-hmm. Just like I said last time, and he's retired. This is a better use case than Stephen Curry getting like equity in the Warriors because he's an active player. I don't think players can have ownership in teams, but this dude's retired, right? Cut me something off, right? Like what, 20-year
he
career?
built the brand.
Gave him brought them the first chip in the franchise history. I mean, it's definitely an argument. It's definitely an argument.
So I think what the whole point is just like, I think even if it happens or doesn't happen, as creators, we need to start understanding the business side of things and the things especially when we're creating something, we need to understand the value that we're creating for other businesses. So like if I create a product and then I market it or I sell it to another business or I even partner with another business that has a larger audience than I do, and they're going to make a lot of money off of it, like I deserve to like get a cut of that, especially if I created the product or service.
So we're talking about it because it's happening very small, right? Austin Reeves got a deal with a sneaker company. Mm-hmm. I don't know the name of the sneaker company, so don't ask me what the name of the sneaker company.
It's an Asian joint.
Yeah.
It's I think it's, what is it called? Try to pronounce it at least. You can at least try to pronounce it. It doesn't like necessarily have to be right. Like just try to pronounce it.
Rigor or some shit? Rigor or something.
Rigor.
I've never heard of this brand, like ever.
Yeah.
They give him 7-figure deal in equity. So like Austin Reeves, whoever his team is, shout out to them, right? Like they
understand.
They understand. Because the brand's going to blow up. A lot of Asian brands overseas are blowing up. The brand that Klay Thompson and they're signed to a brand overseas. Right, that brand is doing very well. I think D-Wade used to be.
Yeah, D-Wade
might have been the first one.
He was the first one. So you kind of see the 5 years. 5 years ago, no one really knew about it. 5 years later, they're going on trips to China to big up the brand.
Exactly.
Austin Reeves signed this deal. Maybe Lakers have a deal in China in terms of TV rights. And so maybe Austin Reeves in China becomes a big thing. 5 years from now, we're talking about Austin Reeves worth $500 million, and he's like a subpar basketball player. Like, in terms of not a superstar.
Subpar, he said he's him.
He's him.
Not a superstar talent, and he could possibly be worth over close to $1 billion
off of just signing that equity deal.
That's a good point.
So it's just us. It's just up to like, us as people. Just like we gotta just learn the business. Like, you know what I mean? Just don't get taken advantage of. Like, and honestly, you have to probably, I don't want to say you have to get taken advantage of, but you got to go through it to learn it. Like I got stories, maybe we'll get into it later, that made me realize the value of contracts and making sure that you sign contracts and stuff like that. Because ever since I experienced that, I never got duped on a contract ever since. You know what I mean? But lucky for me, that happened to me at a young age. That doesn't happen for people that happens for people at a later in life. But that happened to me at a young age, which actually I'm grateful for because it set me up for the future, like to understand how I should operate and how I should run business and conduct business.
It's a learning experience.
And you just got to go through it in order to like really understand it and know it. I think that's the challenging part. You can't really teach, like you could teach it. You could teach theory. Like they always say, you could teach theory, but the best teacher in life is experience.
Of course.
I could read a book all day, but until I really go live my life and go through things, we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point. I want to kind of stay on this a little bit and pivot back into tech a little bit. So there's a lot of news in tech. I don't know if we can cover everything. This episode's a little tech heavy, but the OpenAI stuff, right? With the investing in his own company, right? Use his own money.
Yeah.
So I'm Sam Altman. I have $1 million personal money, right? And I go invest in the company. I work for OpenAI, and I get them to invest $50 million into a company I invested in. Is that a conflict of interest or not?
It could be. It could be. I mean, it's always a conflict of interest if you're investing and then you have a company that you're working with, right? So, it depends. I mean, what happened with what's this guy's name?
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried, but Sam Bankman-Fraud. Nah, Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm not going to just butcher his name like that.
He had different companies that was investing in his, like, the bigger umbrella company. Like,
but that's not. See, this goes back to piggybacking off what we were just talking about and learning the business. What they're doing is not illegal. Like, it's like, because there's different entities, there's different businesses and different industries. And just think about it. It's like, okay, if I invest, okay, with the Sam part, he invested in a chip company, like his own money into a chip company. Now he's on the board, or he's the CEO of another company, OpenAI, and he got that company to invest into the chip making company. It's not really a conflict of interest, one, because you need the chips to power what you're doing at OpenAI anyway. So it's like, the only problem is just like, okay, I guess the only problem that you could kind of see with it would be like, it's kind of a monopoly for him because he's running OpenAI and then now he's doing this AI chip company. So it's kind of like he's in all facets of the business. You get what I mean? That could kind of be looked at as a monopoly, but it's not illegal. It's different entities.
That's kind of how America was built.
You know what I'm saying? It's different entities. So you could be an owner of multiple businesses and multiple entities and invest in all of those businesses. Like, why couldn't you be able to do that?
But was that common knowledge? Do people know? Was that like public information?
I'm not sure. But I'm wondering if that's like the reason he was fired. Like, I wonder, because I also feel like just the topic of him being fired happened a couple weeks ago. But I also wonder if like the government should like now step in, right? So the companies really should be determining if AI is dangerous for humanity. Like, is that on companies to decide that?
I think it's definitely should be in partnership with the government, but definitely the companies have to educate the government because the government is behind. Exactly. Their government's like trying to, their AI is innovation. You know what I mean? Government is more trying to like take care of everything that's already happening, not look forward to try to create something new, if that makes sense. So I think with partnership with these AI companies and these AI experts or people in that space have to work with the government to educate them on it and just know what it really is and the positives about it and what the downfalls could be. But they need to work with the government, like, for sure. And the government needs to give those companies support because AI is the cutting edge of innovation right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to compete against other countries like China, who's like doing really well, you need smart people and you need talented people and you need your government to support those people.
Yeah, we need like a government task force, I feel like. But
You said what?
Government task force. Like, you know how they have to spin up task force? No, I'm serious. And I feel like you've hired them for something. It has been crazy. It's like what happened on Silicon Valley, the TV show. They decided, all right, this shit way too wild as a product. We have to deprecate it immediately. Like, what's so crazy that he found out at the end, like emergency firing, getting UCO to come in, 24 hours, 48 hours of craziness in tech, basically, right? Like, what happened? No one's. They haven't actually said what happened.
Nobody's really dissecting and asking the question.
Microsoft got him. He's back now. Everything's all great. That's not.
Didn't they fire the board though?
Didn't say. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then this comes out. Tech people always got a lot of stuff in the fire, right? It's never all eggs in one basket. So I say at the same, I'm pretty sure there's something else. We don't know what
At
something
play,
else.
yeah.
We don't know what something else is yet.
But at the end of the day, to answer the question, I don't think it's a conflict of interest if you own companies in different industries or you own multiple companies and you invest your own money and then you have a company that you are a part of invest in that same thing. If it's a potential product that could make your company money, then like I said, capitalism is always going to win.
It's fair.
It's just the world that we live in. I didn't make those rules.
Is that, of course you didn't make the rules, but are we ever going to realize that that's not beneficial to the bigger society at hand?
That's why I brought up stakeholder capitalism.
Right? So
we're gonna have to like, break that down another time. That's high level. I never heard of it before.
So
I want you to break that down.
Mark Benioff.
Yeah, Mark Benioff. Yeah, Mark Benioff is he talks about that a lot. Like he's a real advocate for stakeholder capitalism. He doesn't like the way capitalism operates today, and he's completely for like stakeholder capitalism. So am I. And once people are aware and wake up to what stakeholder capitalism really is, I'm pretty sure they'll be on board as well too.
All right. So we are at, again, Miami Tech Week / Art Basel. And we do have a guest today.
305.
Yeah.
Got some special guests in the 305.
You got to come down. You got to come down. Tony C.
Is it time?
Would it be? It's time.
It's time.
It's about that time.
It's time.
Social currency. Well, it is an honor to be here. This is cool. My name's Tony C. What you see is what you get. Nothing more, nothing less. Aim
Like
for
that.
hope and hope for the best.
I like
That's
that.
the full catchphrase.
That's what he just told me.
That's cool.
I like that.
Yo,
I'm Jada G.
And what do you do, J?
I'm an artist. I do a variety of mediums from pencil sketching. That's how I started. To painting, oil painting, acrylics. Recently did it like a 3.5-foot sculpture. We did like a short film / music video earlier. And have a YouTube channel, but mainly a visual artist, but all these other things.
Are you originally from Miami?
I was born in Atlanta, but
Okay.
I moved here when I was just before I turned 2. And then when I was 12, I moved.
So
In
it's
my
like
mind, I'm from Miami because I don't remember living anywhere else before that.
nah.
But-
The reason why I asked too is because it's like Art Basel like a part of like your like yearly like thing or like inspiration or like do you participate in it like
So I went when I was about 4 years old, so
Wow.
I don't really remember that much. But we did go to like a lot of like local art fairs when I lived here, and my family's always been artistic. Like
Nice.
my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, like always buying me art supplies and getting me into all kinds of like,
so a very
activities and
a very
stuff, so-
artsy and creative family.
So
Shout out
not
to the
always
family.
Art Basel
Shout out to the
specifically, but always like showing up to art events. And,
Now, how did you two cross paths?
At art show, actually.
yeah.
I was just getting off of work and I stopped by this place called Utopia Fenny. Shouts out to Utopia Fenny, Virginia Beach. And it's like a little, I want to say like a live performance house where it's like open mic. You know, you can host an event there.
It's a gallery kind of / like event venue.
Nice
Just
little hub.
small place.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. You know, people get to go in there and just like be themselves. So you see
Right.
a lot of different characters. You see a lot of different stuff going on mentally, spiritually, physically, and it's like, okay, it's just a lot to ingest sometimes. But it's really beautiful. And she just was she had her art set up in there, and I just walked in. I was like, hi, how you doing? And then
You were performing that day too.
yeah, and then I just went up there and kind of jammed out a little bit because I had just got back from Dallas, Texas. So I was like, I got to do something. I got to do an open mic. I got to find something just to get out and just like let this out real quick. And then we ended up doing like a puppet music video with this guy named Bobby Blazed and Gabe Niles. Shouts out to Gabe Niles. He's pretty like dope in Virginia Beach. He works with like Team Yellow, Pharrell, and them and stuff like that. He's the one that got me on the Something in the Water show.
Got you.
Just because I used to jam out with him like at the box in Virginia Beach. And he's like, man, you're dope. Yeah, get up there.
dial back a little bit. Yeah, I want a little bit background on everything you just said. I'm following,
Where
but
should I start?
Well, first,
I
I think
guess you're asking-
we didn't tell well, you're a guitarist.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a multifaceted individual, I would say, because as we say, our currency is the things we create, right? It's the thoughts, it's our emotions, it's all the stuff that we put out in the world. And I find that my greatest art is this consciousness, the art of consciousness, talking to people and seeing what we can connect on. Because as soon as we can connect on something, then we can have a conversation.
I like that.
We can break into different aspects, break down topics. And then, you know what they say, great minds think alike. And once great minds attack a topic, it becomes real small. You know what I mean? We just devour it and eat it up.
Digestible.
So, yeah. So right now, yes, I'm working on my little studio album. It's a little bit like, I want to say it's everywhere because I got like 2 rock songs. I got one out right now. It's called Dizizo. And that's...
Tell the people where you can find it.
You can find it on all platforms. It's Dizizo by Acromancy. And that's like my jam. It's Dizizo stands for like the disease of oppression. Like how we all oppress ourselves in essence.
Ourselves. We oppress ourselves.
Yeah, it's not about the oppressor. It's about the oppressed. Because the oppressor is going to be whatever type of fascism, corporate, whatever it is trying to oppress a people to get them to either follow trends, to purchase things based off trends. Because if you look in the last 50 years, what they did was successfully create an avenue for everybody to go down and ingest. Hey, do like you're not going to be cool if you don't sound like this. You're not going to be successful if you don't look like this. And nobody's going to listen to you if you're not rapping. You know, that's selling lifestyle. And when they sell lifestyle, they got you. That's what they want everybody to do, sell lifestyle. And that's not what we do. We don't sell lifestyle. We sell our product, our stuff, the stuff we make. And it's not based off of lifestyle. It's based off how you feel or how I can connect with people or how I can showcase somebody that came before me. Like giving like an ode to the greats. You know, it's like I love Jimi Hendrix. That's the person that taught me how to play guitar. I was like, so every time I do like a little tube solo or something like that, or play by my hand, it's an ode to Jimi Hendrix.
Fire. And
you can go down that link and find out like, okay, I see where he's coming from. So kind of lost myself in that little piece right there.
I mean, when I first met him, he said he had the pastor's scarf on. I said, he's giving a word. So
yeah. Okay. So currency, what is currency, right? Now, in reality, the real and truest currency is information. It's not money. That's why they call it currency, because they want to trick us into believing that's the true living water. But the true living water is the word, because only through the word do we get understanding and information. Without speaking and without words, we are nothing. We have nothing. This entire universe was created through speech. Let there be light. Let there be this. If you believe in that, you know, and even if you just believe in the Big Bang, that was all of a cataclysmic event that said, let there be something. Boom. And it all blew up. So and if you do believe in the Big Bang, we're all living in an explosion right now. This is an explosion happening constantly.
Interesting. I never even thought about it.
The Big Bang, it never stopped exploding. It never stopped exploding. It came and expanded. The universe is expanding as we speak.
Interesting.
As we speak, which means our words are contributing to the expansion of the universe.
You get it.
Put
You
the
get
good
it.
stuff out there.
You
know
get
what I
it.
mean? Because I believe in God. I believe in the higher source. I've been to heaven. I was in heaven for 4 hours. I have a book about it. It's called Journey to Heaven on Earth.
Please tell me more.
Okay, first thing in heaven, I want to tell y'all, they celebrate every holiday. There is sacred geometry built into the temples. It was an 8-sided like octagon temple that I first went into. And the most important place in the kingdom is the praise and worship place. And it's nothing but long white tables with silverware and millions of people just eating and congregating and talking.
Millions.
Because I looked and it was like 20 long white tables that just go on forever and just everybody up there just eating, talking like, yeah. It sounded like a cafeteria. Wow. It was crazy. I looked and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
But how did you get there?
So I started out with a lucid dreaming, right? I was just like lucid dreaming, waking up in a thing, and I was getting these crazy dreams. I was like hearing the voice of God. He told me this: go into the field, my son, and harvest the cows, but watch out for the bull. And in my dream, I said, okay, sure. So I'm walking down the street with this big stick and like this big purple robe and a ring on, which was an ephod. I seen it in my dream. It was an ephod, right? I get down there. I'm like, how do I harvest these cows? Come here. I see the cows go by. And I'm like, where's this bull? And I look. And I see this golden wheat, and I see the horns coming down like this. And I said, oh, there's the bull. And I try to take off running, but it's like a cartoon run. I'm running in place, going nowhere. And I hear, why are you running? And I said, why am I running? I turn around, I put my hand out, and the bull bows down before me, lays on its side, and dies. And it's with this eye, it says, you can eat me now. And the bull represents our spirit. Your spirit is the last thing you have to get under control. That's the first part you have to get under control, I would say, because your spirit is that's your biggest part of you, what they would call the ego, the part that wants to fight and the part that's like, oh, no, I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to do it. You can't get me under control. Oh, yes, I can. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to reel you in and I'm going to eat you. It's going to be a
I
steak.
like that.
And
I
so
like that.
it was a series of lucid dreams, seeing like giant red, golden wheat fields, but they were all messages from the night school. If you believe in the Kemetic principles, or like, what's his name? Trismegistus. What's his name?
Trismegistus.
Yeah. The Emerald Tablets. You know about the Emerald Tablets? I forget his name, man. It's like, it's just Trismegistus.
I never heard of Trismegistus.
No, I never heard of that either.
It's a, oh, dude, I'm trying to remember his name, man. I can't remember the first one. We're going to have to look this up later. But it's Trismegistus, man. And he had the Emerald Tablets that were passed down through, and he always talked about the night school, which the Egyptians would talk about as well.
Really?
And the night school is our dreams. That's where we go to learn. You can live out 20 years in 4 minutes. Some dreams we have they seem forever, because time is a dilation of the spirit. And time is the only real way that the spirit learns. There is no time in heaven.
Yeah, it's no time and space.
Yeah, time and space are one. They're the same thing. Because as you go up dimensions, we're in the third dimension right now, which is the Garden of Eden. This entire dimension is the Garden of Eden. This is where things come to grow. Because in heaven, there is no time, so you can't grow. You come down here to grow and learn, because up there it's so sacred and so holy and so beautiful, right? So you come down here, you grow to a perfection, and then you're harvested into those things that you have learned and instilled into your spirit and your soul into eternity. And eternity is not going to feel like eternity. It's just going to feel like normal time. And
I never really had somebody break it down like that.
Yeah,
And
let's think about time and space, right? You can't have time without space, because where would you put time? And you can't have space without time, because when would you put space? It's either every event happens all at once, or none of the events happen at all. And that's what time is, the separation of events, this occurring right now. And that's the most beautiful thing I could ever say right there, because time is space.
So would you say life is preordained, or do you think we have free will and things of that nature?
We have free will, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's funny, right? We have free will, and we can't like do anything about it. That's so funny.
But it's supposed to be free will.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be free. You have the free will to do whatever you want, because that's what you're supposed to do. And it's like, yeah, like you said, an oxymoron, right? It's like, what the heck? So when they say preordained, your spirit can be destroyed. You can go off into darkness. There's some people that just die and see black. I mean, I've had an experience where I just died and seen black.
What you mean you like, okay. We gotta.
So you're an NDE?
Yeah.
NDE? No. Near death experience?
No, oh, well, that one, I guess, it was kind of like a drug experience. You know, I got some stuff, and it just messed me up. I don't do that stuff no more. I learned my lesson. That stuff will get you. And yeah, I died in my bathroom. This was way after heaven, though. Like I was in Virginia, actually, when it happened. I died in my bathroom, and my daughter woke me up, and my wife, she's like, what the heck are you doing? And I just came up out of darkness and rose up, and I was like, oh my God. I died in my bathroom of a fentanyl. Somebody gave me some fentanyl. And that's what happened. So don't do drugs, kid.
especially not fentanyl.
Yeah,
don't do no fentanyl.
And the dude says, you want to die, right? I was like, man, I'm not scared of this. And he gave me fentanyl. He seen a ghost, though, when I seen him the next day at the store. He was like, hey, man. I was like, bro, what did you do to me? What did you give me, man? He was like, see you later, boy. Last time I ever seen that guy. So when they say preordained, the only thing that is preordained is the fabric. Now you have your choice of which way you want to go through the fabric. You don't have to go to the source. You don't even have to go do anything. You could just sit. You could just be. Because how will you learn is up to you. It's up to you what you want to learn. And it's up to you at the end of the day how you want to guide your life and what you want to invest into. You know what I mean? Because that's the ultimate free will. What do you want to be? What do you want to learn? Because God, he doesn't judge. He loves you for everything you are, because he sends you through every little piece. He's like, yo, do it. Go for it. You know that story of like the prodigal son that returns?
Mm-hmm.
He went out and did all the bad stuff, wasted the money and stuff. And when his dad seen him coming, he's like, my son's back. My son's back. Let's kill the fattest bull. We're going to have a feast. And the younger son's like, why, Dad? Why? Because my son went out through all this stuff. He went through everything, all the trials, tribulations, the fire. He went through all that, but he came back. He came back to me. And that's what it all is. We just always go back to the source. Because the only thing that really judges us is ourselves and other people. And that's not like what we would say the highest consciousness that you can achieve. When you get to the highest level of consciousness, You don't judge anything. You break it down. You want to understand it. You want to digest it.
You have the desire to understand instead of judge.
And your desires change as you grow. Just think about when you're a kid and you first seen girls. You're like, "Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait to get a chick. I can't wait to have fun." And I think of when you're like 30 and your wife's bugging you. Oh God, what does she want right now? You know what I mean? You grow over things, or like you're not so easily enticed by a young woman. You're like, whatever. You can see a gold digger, or you can see somebody who just wants to get some clout and come up in the mix or do something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And as you grow, the things you want grow as well.
Interesting. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by the things you like? As you grow, the things you want grows. So, like, can you give us an example of like something that maybe you want, that you aspire to get, or you wanted, and then it grew as you obtained it?
I got the perfect example. So for me, it was insight. I've always wanted knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is the truest power. Knowledge is the only power. Everything like money, all the other stuff, that's not real. That is a fabrication. Even like we could say our thoughts, they're not real. That's the realest thing we have is our thoughts and the stuff that we can share with each other. So when I went for chasing knowledge, right, I was like, oh, let me get deeper in this. And then I started unlocking things like secret languages and like other aspects of the universe. And it just, oh my God, it just like unlocked more doors. And I was like, I got to know more. I just kept building myself up. And I was like, yes, different practices that I could do every day. Breathing exercises, sympathetic breathing and stuff like that. And it just really you just really want to be the best version of yourself you can be. It's like Bruce Lee, right? Be like water. And then you find out, oh man, I can be anything. I can be the air. I can be the fire. I can be the earth. I can be Buddha. I can be Jesus. You know what I mean? You think these are the things I always talk about because we tiptoe around these subjects, right? You can't say Buddha and Jesus together for some reason. You can't say Muhammad and Jesus together because they're like, oh, no, it's not it. But as soon as you start dwelling and getting deeper into consciousness and what consciousness truly is, you start to see, oh my God, I am consciousness. I am light crystallized in this dimension. I'm literally I'm forming myself with my thoughts. So everything I ingest, I make it a part of me. So you start being careful what you ingest, what kind of music you listen to, what kind of food you eat, what kind of people you hang around. You don't go to those places anymore. You don't hang out with those type of people anymore. You know what I mean? And we all know what those type of people are. It's like, okay, I can't hang out here, bro. I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? You're just sitting here like, and I'm not talking about this. This is great. I'm talking about when you go to the building and everybody's like, hey, bro, I got you. What you need? And I'm like, I don't need anything. Because you don't have anything I want. You know what I mean? And no offense, keep doing your thing. Whatever hustle you got to do it to the end. See it for it. Do the best that you can do in every field that you require. If you're selling women's shoes, sell them shoes. If you're washing cars, wash them cars. Because whatever you put your energy to into the max, it changes you. It becomes a meditation. It becomes something that, oh yeah, I'm doing this. And you zone out. And then you get into a flow state, which allows you to dissolve your ideas and really see the now. And like, okay, this is what's happening right now. Now I'm not winning my thoughts. Because when you're thinking about something, you're either projecting to the future or you're projecting to the past. When you're right here, right now, not thinking, like we're just talking, right? We're just here. And we're getting downloads. Everybody's getting a download right now, right? It's like when I leave here, you're going to be thinking, I'm like, okay, what was he saying? Why did it affect me like that? Why did it stop me in my tracks? Because it's truth. I'm looking for the truth, the highest form of truth, the true truth. And when you speak rightfully and you speak truth, it resonates with everyone. I'm talking about everyone. If you can think, then it resonates with you. If you can see, it resonates with you. Because it all comes from the same place, consciousness. How conscious do you want to be with yourself? And the more consciousness you get, the higher your being creates. You just walk in, people are like, hey, I don't know what you do, but I want to know you. Right. And then that's another aspect of love. Love yourself so you have the ability to love others.
Exactly.
Educate yourself so you have the ability
to educate others.
Brothers, your sons, your daughters, whatever it is.
No, that's amazing. You're very optimistic, have a lot of wisdom. I wanna know, like, you broke down currency and what that means to you. How do you value like your social connections?
My social connections?
Yeah.
I want to say I value my social connections just as much as I value my interconnections with myself. Because how I connect with my inner self is how I connect with you. How I talk to myself in the mirror, how I talk to myself in my head is how I'm going to talk to you. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to reach as many people as I can through the heart. and maybe eliminate some of those thoughts that have been plaguing you. You're like, why am I thinking about this all the time? Why am I getting to this repetitive pattern of thinking? And you don't even realize that you're in a repetitive pattern of thinking because
you really don't. Yeah, you really don't. That's fascinating.
So like with social concepts, build a great social map of your people and find out who you can resonate with. And this is what they told me in heaven, right? I said, what do I got to do to come back? What do I got to do to come back? They said, do you feel this feeling? It was the greatest feeling of love I've ever felt. It's like seeing your grandma or grandpa that passed away and you see them in the flesh. I'm like, grandma, oh my God. Or your uncle, like, dude, oh my God, your favorite uncle or your cousin. Did you see at the party? Like, dude, I ain't seen you in 10 years, man. It's so good to see. And it's just complete strangers. And I got a group hug from complete strangers and felt that love. And they said, share that feeling of love with the people that you can. You don't force it. You don't say, oh, let me get in there, because that's not your job to enter people like that. Your job is just to display it, resonate it, and the pieces that resonate back are the pieces that are destined to come back to you.
That's probably like the best. I think that's actually probably like the best advice right there, especially you're talking about it's not your job to enter it like that way. It's just your job to display it, because I think sometimes people get caught up, or you could get caught up in
trying to force things.
Yeah, trying to force things or try to change. Like, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're trying to change that person that you're in a relationship with. But real love and real love is not controlling. Real love is not wanting you to be the certain way. It's like real love is embracing who you are, accepting who you are, and if you feel like you want to grow or you feel like you can grow, I'm supposed to support you. Like, that's really what love is. I'm not supposed to hold you back. I'm not supposed to control you. I'm not supposed to control what you're doing. Because, a form of control that's obsession. That's not love. That's oppression. Exactly. That's a form of oppression.
The oppressor.
So no, I'm glad you even like broke it down like that. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
That's a really good way to break it down. And I think people will kind of like look at it a little bit differently now that they hear it broke it down like that. Because I just did you see, I'm just spitballing right now. I'm just thinking it's just like,
it's 10 p.m. too.
Exactly. Like, I'm just like, hold on. You just said like, what really hit me was when you said, it's not my job to enter, like, it's just my job to display, and whatever resonates. Like, that's, I don't think you understand how powerful that is.
Because think about it like this, all right? Say I lived a real hard life. Say, like, the bad stuff's happening, right? And I chose to overcome it. And instead of showing you my overcoming, I just decided to wear all the events that happened to me. My scars. Or maybe I get a tattoo again. You know what I mean? Maybe I go to the max and I'm like, every time you see me, it's like, you don't know nothing. You think you know. But wait till you get there, brother. And it's eating you up. I've been around people like that. And instead of saying, man, look, whatever you going through, you're going to get through it. And when you get there, you're going to be like, yes, I did it. Bam. You know what I mean? You show them that, hey, look, I've been through it. And it's so good when you get over it. You don't say, man, nah, wait till you get there. Wait till it beats you up. Because you're building anticipation for something that might not ever happen. And another thing we've been programmed is that you have to struggle or go through struggle to be enlightened. You don't have to struggle to be enlightened. Enlightenment is free. Enlightenment it's free, man. And I think struggle is another currency that people pass around. That's literally like, what have you been through? What have you seen? Share it with me. I want to know, instead of saying, man, it's not what I've been through, but it's the fact that I feel like this after I've been through it. I feel like empowered. I feel like I got it and I did it. And instead of saying, oh, look what you're doing. Oh my God, I hope you get over this. You say, man, I love you. Thank you for going through that struggle. Thank you for getting over what you had to get through. Because if you didn't, we wouldn't be talking today. I wouldn't have this experience with you if you didn't overcome whatever you had to get through, and whatever you had to get through personally. Because you wouldn't be the person you are here today. You'd still be in that torment or that trauma that's like, oh, no, I can't do that. But instead, you chose to enlighten yourself.
Crazy. So you said all this when you guys met and you guys just formed a partnership.
And when I first met him, we were talking about collaborating, I think.
Really?
Like when I first met him, he was looking at my artwork, and then we talked about art, and then we're like, yeah, we should collaborate. And then he gave me his phone number, and I texted him, but then he got a new phone like immediately.
I'm sorry.
And then we just happened to meet again the next week. We were making puppets for a music video.
Yeah,
We both
Bobby
decided to
Blaze.
make puppets on a random weekday. And then I was like, oh, that's you. And you're like, did you text me? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I got a new phone. And then
Vibe Fest.
yeah, he was giving out free tickets for a music festival, and I was thinking about going, and I was like, all right, I got a free ticket. And then
Just
I don't
showed
know, we met
up.
someone there that got us into a music video / short film.
Darius.
And then we were
shouts out to
doing that,
Darius.
and then we started just documenting everything that we've been doing. Like, so we wanted to document the life of artists, like what we're doing, and also all the events we go to. We kind of surprise interview all the people
Really?
there that we know.
Is that the YouTube
because
channel?
yeah, because if we
The Doper
grow
Show.
on YouTube, then all these people in our community will grow with us. As well.
And you can plug your YouTube
yeah,
channel.
it's the Doper Show
The Dover Show
yes.
The Doper
on
Show.
YouTube.
on YouTube.
The THEDOPERSHOW. Put it in there. It'll pop up. It's red. You can't miss it. You'll see Pharrell's face.
Yeah, we met Pharrell.
That was really cool.
Really? Talk about that. How was that?
Okay.
It was.
I was telling everybody that day. I said Pharrell's coming. I just knew it. We felt it.
we were
kept-
joking about it in the car. We're like,
We
"He's
said
gonna
it
be
7
here."
times. We were like, we're going to meet Pharrell.
So
We're
it
going
was-
to meet Pharrell.
Those words.
So you
Yeah.
were so those words that you were talking about earlier, putting into the atmosphere and putting into the universe, the universe was resonating with you, and it brought you to what you were talking about.
That's a good way
Yeah.
to say it too. Because think about the universe is consciousness. What level of consciousness is the universe at? It is at the utmost high. And as soon as you get higher in your consciousness, you're able to speak to the universe. It's a hidden language that we have through energy and vibrations of feeling. Because the only thing that's more powerful than a thought is a feeling. Because some thoughts don't invoke feelings, but some feelings invoke millions of thoughts. You're like, why do I feel like this? What is going on? What's happening? And in the essence, feeling is your truest thought, because you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings. Why am I feeling this? You know what I mean? You can stop your thoughts, but how do you stop your feelings? I don't know. You know what I mean? You can say, oh, I won't think about it, but I still feel it. Oh, I'm going to clear my mind, but I still feel it. You might feel the universe. You might feel people's presence. You just might feel happy. You know, you just feel like you want to do things.
Kanye said a long time ago, our feelings are our facts. I don't know if that's true, but in that case, I definitely see what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then I would say that's why it's very important to build up the fortress of the mind. Because if you're not mentally strong, people will use your thoughts to get to your emotions. And then once they get to those pieces, you're so easily controlled, you don't even realize that you're having an argument. You know, it's like, they
you're a
just
musician, so you meet a lot of people, so
yeah.
that's important. Let's quick pivot real quick. What's your relationship, music and technology?
Ooh, music and technology. Technology is probably like the greatest thing ever. There's technology in heaven. All of these things that we have are drippings from heaven. They're the greatest things that are in the... God made all this. If you believe in the fallen angels, they taught us how to do all this, but where'd they learn it from? God, the Kabbalah, and there's a school in heaven that he was teaching a select few of angels. So it's crazy. The Kabbalah's thorough. I got to read the Kabbalah there. And so for technology, what does it do? It amplifies, it instafies. I can literally just go and boop, 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 record my guitar. I don't got to go to the studio and set up with this guy for an hour and maybe not even get the track that I was aiming for. When I could just sit at home, press record, and I'll do it through GarageBand. Put a little 808 over my stuff, and now I got a track. And it sounds really good. So what does technology do? What is it supposed to do? It's supposed to make things faster, easier. Pull those thoughts out your mind. How do we manifest the ideas we have? We use tools, and technology is a tool. Just like money is one of the biggest tools, and technology is probably one of the greatest tools we have.
I'm glad you said that, just because piggyback, I like the music and technology, but the money thing, something that I tweeted out in response to something is money is the ultimate resource, not a status or not a symbol of success. Because I think we also get caught up in the fact that we want to be the richest, we want to be this, we want to be that, but money is not a symbol of money is not a symbol of success. Money is just a resource that you use to make other people successful or make yourself successful.
Yes.
But a lot of people like to look at money as like I have money, so that means I could do whatever the fuck. I'm the guy, but like that's not really what money is. Or if you like really have money, or if you really know how to value money, you value money as like a resource, opposed to something that you use to flash on people or flash on the world or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, question: what's the difference between a tool and a resource?
Not much.
That's a good question.
And another question on top of that: what's the greatest resource on Earth? The top, it's the number one resource on Earth.
I would say human connection.
Give me some of that. Give me some of that right there. That's it. Humans, we are the only resource.
Human connection.
Because without humans on Earth, then it's just Earth. Then it's just animals and stuff.
Social
right?
currency.
That's why
Social currency. Back to it. Y'all see that circle? That came around good. That was good.
No, it's true because, and you know, actually what proves that point? What we went through these past couple of years with COVID, people died because of loneliness. A lot of people were dying because of loneliness. It wasn't even like, yeah, they maybe get sick, but what actually keeps you alive, and even is just actually like,
no, it's a proven
it's like a proven fact. What keeps you alive in your later years is social interactions. That's why even you see, when you just think about this, when you interact with an older person at the grocery store and they just want to stop and they just want to talk to you. They want to talk to you because you're probably the only person that they're going to get to talk to, because they don't work no more. So they're not in an environment of camaraderie.
Yes.
So that's why I agree with you when you say the number one thing is human connection. And it just kind of points back to why social currency is so important. And we're not talking about currency money. We're talking about currency like connection and how you can turn that connection into currency. And currency doesn't have to necessarily be money. It could be opportunity. Yep. It could be collaboration. It could be knowledge. It could be partnership. Yep. It could be anything.
A word of mouth. Like, yeah, he's good.
Exactly.
Like, go for it. He's a good person.
Exactly. So, you know, with that, just keep that social connection going.
And so the difference between a tool and a resource, right, is that we use tools to get our resources. Not every resource is a tool, and not every tool is a resource. Like, we would say, like, money is probably the only thing that's a resource and a tool. So, like, water is a resource and a tool. Humans are resources and tools at the same time. And without us here on Earth needing something like, just let's just say coal, that's like a big resource, right? There would be no driving force, like no workforce, anything. No, we wouldn't need coal if no humans were here. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, what do we need as a people? How would we get it? Where would we go to? Who's going to be the one to give it to us? Are we going to be the one to get it? Are we going to go dig it out the ground? And that's just how I feel about tools. I was like, are you going to be a tool? Are you going to be a resource for somebody? You can be both. You can be a tool and a resource for somebody. Help somebody get to that next plane and expand their mind. That's really what I love to do, is the expansion of the mind through my music, through my art, and through my connections. Like, if I make eye contact with you, I can't help it. I have to say hi. We've seen each other. I'm like, hi.
Definitely did.
And most importantly, give a compliment. You see something you like it, say something nice.
Sure.
For real. Because we're here together. We're all we have. Nobody's fixing to come save us.
Nobody.
Nobody's fixing to come fix anything or do. It's not going to be some savior. Like, Jesus isn't coming back anytime soon, y'all. I mean, he probably already came back, but he's not going to come down in the flesh and be like, everybody gather up in the middle of Miami, and this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? It's going to be us at events, seeing each other. Like, how can we help each other? Well, if we can't say something nice, then we're probably going to be able to help each other. You know what I mean? You gotta essentially break the fourth wall of seeing each other. I was like, oh, I know you've seen me, but I won't say it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's so weird to me. And I can kind of get it, because people are still projecting themselves into the future, are projecting themselves into the past based off their thoughts. And that's another form of currency as well. Your thoughts. What you think about is
you become, or yeah.
That's when you asked that question.
So below.
I thought I was going to answer with a sound mind. When you asked what's the most important.
Yes.
Sound mind. Because if you're going to connect with people, if you don't have a sound mind, then the connection won't be as potent.
Yes. It'll be scattered.
Right.
Just like your thoughts.
Just like your thoughts.
Yeah, because you're thinking about one thing while you're talking to somebody. And we're a lot more psychic than we play it to be. We are so psychic that together right now, we are literally manifesting this world through our holographic projection through our minds. You know what I mean? Like if there was just one person on Earth, this place would look a lot different. There's a billion of us, not thinking, but knowing Earth is here, knowing that this place is like this. Just put people in an area and watch it change. So that's why social interaction is the most powerful tool. And you got to watch how they subliminally plant things into society, because all they want to do is, there's a lot of people who are funneling. That means they'll take the money and funnel it into their pockets, funnel it into their corporation to do what? To further their pockets or further their agenda. And if their agenda isn't on some type of like, all right, let's make this place let's make the world better, then they're gonna win. It's gonna just be crappy, and we're gonna start seeing it through our social interactions as well. People not looking at each other, people not saying hi, and when we stop looking at each other and we stop saying hi, we lose commodity, we lose that comrade feeling, and we all die slowly.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part. We just don't instantly die. We gotta, and then you give up hope, and then you lose your connection to the source, and then it's even harder to get back to where you need to be.
Right.
You ever seen a man just completely defeated?
Mm-hmm.
They always said this. Ares said this, the god of war. To break a man, to truly break a man, is to break his spirit. Not his mind, his spirit.
What's the difference?
Oh my God. Some days you carry along your spirit. It's like, think about the spirit of Christmas. Some people have it, right? Oh, jolly, jolly, Merry Christmas. Some people hate it. They're like, oh God, Christmas is here.
Yeah.
Some days your spirit carries you along. And the days you can't carry your spirit carries you.
Wow.
It's like, come on, we're going to do it. We're going to get through this. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be beautiful. Yes, it's like the optimistic part of you. Like, just imagine like...
That's the eternal part of you.
Yeah, just imagine like me right now, right? As this character. When I leave and you can still hear my voice and see my mannerisms and stuff, that's my spirit.
Wow.
That's the spirit of Tony. It's like the spirit of righteousness and like, hey, let's be together and like, let's make something beautiful. You know what I mean? It's like the dopest part. And so the difference between your mind and your spirit is that the spirit doesn't think like the mind. It's on a different plane of existence. It's like almost untouchable. It's like the secret water within yourself that you have to keep away from the world. Don't let them in here and don't let them in here, because that's what they want to take. They want to take your spirit and make you like when you see people like, what you looking at? What do you want? You know, you need to be jolly. You need to be happy, because jolliness and happiness gets into your cells, that love. Oh, and you grow and you bloom and you look good. Y'all seen the science when you do the plant science or the water science from that Japanese
Even
guy.
when you talk to plants positively, they have an effect. They grow better.
Yeah, and then when they play death metal, they're all like, it's crazy. So speak love, speak positivity, because your words create this universe.
That's facts.
To energize each other or drain each other.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, so much of the energy.
And the power of the tongue too.
No, that's great. I appreciate your perspective. Our podcast is a little different. Like we're social currency, but we're an ecosystem, right? We're technology, we're venture capital, we're entertainment. You would fall into the entertainment bucket. We're going to interview folks like yourself, athletes, like anyone who falls into the entertainment bucket. It's like great to get your perspective on how you see things, how you use technology, what does social currency mean to you? Like, because we're about social connection. That's how we started the pod. So I appreciate you coming today.
Thank you.
Great.
I appreciate it.
And I think you they said you might have had like a little solo that you might do for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that could be a little good way to rap. I don't know.
I can plug it in real quick. I got the amp up there. You want to grab it real quick?
Yeah,
We
go
got a plug.
Oh, there's an outlet right here.
Let's see, what do we got? All right. So yeah, social currency is the most influential and most powerful currency of all time.
It is.
Because without us talking and spreading ideas, this whole place stops. Imagine if everybody said, no, we're not doing it. We're shutting down America today. Then we're shutting down the world because none of us want to interact with each other anymore. They said, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do it.
I guess I'll grab it. Yeah, I'll grab it. That's not my favorite thing I've done. I don't know. Should I? I don't know.
Now, the most important part about music is it resonates from your soul. And you ain't gotta feel it all the time, but it's good to hear it. time I go fast, I wish I would just went a little bit slower. Everybody's looking for a true love to last. But I found that true love is not found. It's grown. What kind of love will you grow into your life? What will you choose to entertain? But even better, what will you choose to ingest? Because what you ingest eventually comes back out. It either comes out in a good way, or it comes out in a bad way. I just want to say shouts out to Social Currency for having Tony see what you see is what you get. Nothing more, nothing less. Ain't for hoping, hope for the best. Call your mom, tell her you love her. Call your grandma, say thank you for having mom. Let's call your brother if you got one, call your sister. And thank all the people that have helped you build the person you are today. Because even if we just removed one person, you probably wouldn't be this person you are today.
Sucks.
And I just want to say thank you, and thank you for overcoming everything you had to go through. And please, we need you. We need you to get over that thing that's working with you. We need you to be here. We want you to be here.
We want you to be here.
This is something smooth and sensual.
Yeah, that was fire, man. Thank you. Nice way to cap off Art Basel / Miami Tech.
Shout out to Art Basel, Miami 305.
Shout out to Keisha with the space. Appreciate you.
Keisha,
Love.
thank you.
Hey, this is your space? Oh my God, it's beautiful.
This is love.
Art piece right there. What? Yes, Art Basel was dope. Miami was beautiful. Thank y'all for having me. I don't even know how to get up out this chair and leave now.
It's all love. It's all love. Social Currency, episode 2.
This is episode 2?
Episode 2. Yeah, man. We just getting started.
We need y'all. We love you.
This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for wearing that orange.
Nice to meet you.